welcome back to another episode of Smile Files.
Our sixth one.
Today we have an awesome guest, Miss Shira. Hi, Miss Shira.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I'm super excited to be here.
Now, we do have some questions for you. Do you mind answering them?
No, I'd be happy to.
So Miss Shira is a child life specialist, so she works with children in the hospital, and you're someone they can talk to if they're feeling scared, right?
Absolutely.
How would you explain what a child life specialist is to a kid?
So if a kid's coming for surgery, we want to make sure they understand like the order of how things are going to happen. Sometimes that might mean answering their questions, anything they're wondering. Bringing them things to do that are things that they really like. Maybe that's something that they do at home. So I'm someone that can help them understand, but we get to do it in a really fun way through playing and through art projects and science projects, but all to help them understand better. Sometimes we have kids come in days before their surgery. Maybe they'll do a scavenger hunt through the hospital. Sometimes we send home books with pictures and words that can help explain what's going to happen when they come for surgery. Or sometimes we just meet kids on the day of surgery and then practice all the things that are going to happen. So we might play with an anesthesia mask that they get to breathe into, and we might practice with a stuffed animal.
So what type of activities do you do with the children to prepare them for surgeries or scary stuff in the hospital?
If they're coming for other things, like maybe they're coming to sleep over, or maybe they're coming for like a blood test or something like that, we would do the same kind of thing. So talking to them, but also giving them a chance to just be a kid. If they want to meet our facility dog and get to help walk after surgery with the dog, we want to do things like that. So we try to do things that are special for each kid to get them to be their own self.
So we actually did get our blood tested recently, and they walked us through everything too. We got to see the bandage that they put around our arm, and to be honest, it didn't hurt.
Did they use any like tricks or anything to help it not hurt as much?
Sure, yeah, they had a buzzy bee, like it was
Yeah.
a buzz and an ice pack.
Like, did you use the one that looks like a bee, or was it a ladybug?
We used the bee.
Carolyn used the bee. I used freezing spray. Freezing spray works for me.
So yeah, those are other things we do, like give kids choices and let them help them feel like they're more in control and get to kind of be in charge of what's happening to them.
I get my blood drawn, once a year, and people, they're like, okay, first I'm gonna wipe your arm off and stuff. So that makes me feel better. Last time we got it, we walked through it and everything. So that was
Yeah,
good
we
too.
got to meet the doctors. It was really nice.
As I kept going back each year, I realized, oh my goodness, like it's not that bad. I'm not that scared.
That's really cool. That's what I do every day with kids.
How many kids do you work with?
Anywhere from maybe like 5 kids to 20 kids, but some of my team members might see 40 kids a day, depending on if they work somewhere else. And one of our child life specialists works in the NICU. That's the neonatal intensive care unit with the tiny babies. You might have maybe 50 or 60 babies there sometimes.
Babies? Like,
Sometimes really tiny babies, like if they're born early, then they have to stay in the hospital so the doctors can take care of them and like help them grow and get stronger before they can go home. As a child life specialist, we get to work with the babies, but we also get to help the parents or maybe like the big brothers and sisters at home.
How old are the babies usually?
Babies are usually like 0 when they're born, but sometimes the babies are born before they're supposed to be born. So they're like 2 weeks early or 4 weeks early, and then they get to grow up in the hospital until they're ready to go home.
so why do you tell the children everything that's going to happen instead of kind of not telling them?
We really want to make sure kids know what to expect, that we're honest, that we share like concrete information, which means being really clear. They don't think something's going to happen when really that's not what's going to happen. We want kids to have really good healthcare experiences, and we want them to trust their doctors and nurses and to trust their parents or grandparents or whoever's taking care of them.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're walking down the street, somebody just jumps out of the alley and says, boo. But what if I said to you, hey, guess what? When you get up to that alley, somebody's going to jump out and say, boo. You might still not love it, but you have all that sidewalk as you're walking to think about, what am I going to do to get ready to make myself feel better about someone saying boo? So it's the same idea with kids. If you know what to expect, you can be a little less worried and be more prepared for what's going to happen. And then you also do better as you have to come back to the hospital because oh, I got through that thing last time. It worked really well when I did this particular trick or this thing to help me. So it gives kids a chance to sort of build those skills and really trust who they're working with too.
So, Miss Shira, how did you learn about child life specialists, and how did you know that you wanted to be one?
I was a a physiology major in undergrad, meaning I was studying like science about the body, and I thought maybe I was going to be a doctor. And I was sitting with my friend having lunch, and she was telling me about how she had a little sister who was born with something that was wrong with her heart. And when she was in the hospital, my friend and her other sisters got to work with a child life specialist and got to learn all about what was going on with their baby sister, and how it was such a cool job because you got to do some of the medicine stuff and you had to learn how to explain it to kids, but you got to work right with kids and families and doing kind of the other side of medicine, helping kids understand and feel more comfortable. So I looked into it and I got to volunteer for a whole year with a child life specialist who worked at the children's hospital there. And I learned so much more about child life that I knew right away I had to come and move to Chicago and go back to school to get my master's degree and be able to become a child life specialist. And so if it wasn't for that friend and her telling me the story of her sister, I don't think I ever would have heard of child life.
That's so heartfelt. Oh my gosh. Tell about a favorite time when you helped a child.
There was a little girl coming for surgery, and I think she was maybe like 6 or 7. She was born with something where her bones didn't grow the way they were supposed to in her leg. She was really nervous, and she was going to have to come back for like 3 or 4 more surgeries. So I had a doll for her, and we actually got to put this special piece of equipment that she was going to wake up with on her leg from surgery. We put it on the doll, and then she brought the doll back every time she came for more and more surgeries as she got older, and we would do whatever was going to happen to her doll. And she even took her doll to school and taught her friends about it so that she felt like she could talk more about it and wasn't so worried about going to school with this thing on her leg that was going to help her grow.
There's a big question I was wondering.
Yes.
Are there adult life specialists?
There are not really adult life specialists, but maybe we have a future career plan.
Adults do need to learn what's going on with their body,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We hear that you're a teacher in Chicago. Basically, you help the other Shiras learn how to be a child life
Specialists?
Pretend we are your students. What would you teach us?
If I could teach you one big takeaway, I think I would teach you how to help kids get to have their own voice and feel like they have their sense of belonging and that they can learn to do hard things. We want to be able to help kids so that we don't have to be there all the time. So if I get to help a kid cope better with something and be more comfortable with something, then they can do it on their own the next time.
How are your students? Are they fast learners?
They're really fast learners and they're super passionate. When I teach them, they've never been a child life specialist in a hospital before. So they're so excited to learn.
Just like Carolyn and I when we started school. We're so excited to start and learn. And I'm going into middle school, so.
Caroline, what grade are you going to be in?
I'm going to be in 4th grade.
Oh my goodness, that's so exciting.
What made you smile today?
It could be anything big, from big to small.
There was a boy that I was working with, and he communicates by sign language. And he had so much fun with the staff teaching us sign language and talking to us. And it was such a cool experience. And it made me smile the whole time because he was having so much fun, and so were we.
So what kind of person do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a person who helps people keep learning.
What makes you stand out?
I like to do things on my own that allow me to express myself and just kind of be who I am.
Yeah, I love making art too. Carolyn and I should both know. We like working with clay, and we do those like beads you can iron.
We also like sketching and drawing.
Sketching and drawing is a big one.
And we also like
Yeah.
doing those folding the books.
The
Yeah.
book thing,
Wow.
origami. So
Yeah.
we do what?
Yeah.
That.
Who is your most favorite famous person?
I have a great grandma, and she lived to be 105.
That's so
So
old.
it is so old. So I kind of think she might just be my favorite person. We got to ask all about like her life story and what it was like growing up in different times and all that. So I think I just like to know more about her story and her life when she was younger.
What is your biggest dream in life?
Kind of like what you guys have done, like starting something that really impacts kids and families, that sort of changes how people look at how we do things with different people. I don't know what that might be, but I think I'd like to keep impacting people in some way like that.
What are you doing in your community to spread smiles?
Giving people a chance to be themselves. How do we make sure that all kids and families have access to different support that they need, whether that's like food and clothes, or it's help in the hospital, or it's a book to read?
So if I was your fairy godmother with a sparkly magic wand, bippity boppity boo,
Salagadoola, metricaboola, bibbidi bobbidi boo.
and I granted you any wish, what would it be?
I think I'd like to be able to have a chance to travel the world.
Oh, that's such a good wish.
Yeah, my first place I'd like to go is Portugal. There's a lot of other things I'd wish for that are like good things for other people, but I might like to travel and then maybe I could help other people in different countries too.
So where do you travel?
Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would travel.
I know you want to go to
To-
Tokyo.
I was just about to say Japan or Tokyo.
That's
I also would like to go to Idiot. I'd also like to go to Italy.
okay. That's what I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
We went to a decent ramen place in
Can I
Toronto.
say it?
Yes, you asked about that.
So we went to a very good place in Toronto. In Toronto, ramen place. Sorry,
What?
let me restart that.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Anyway.
So while we were in Toronto, we found this ramen place that we all wanted to go to because we thought it was gonna be really good, which was my opinion.
In your opinion,
So
yes.
it was really good. And we heard that you like ramen too. So
What is your
ramen-
favorite go-to ramen place?
Have you ever heard of Furious Spoon?
No.
It's just a simple, like you order at the counter and then they bring the food to wherever you're sitting. And it's like super cool graffiti on the walls and they have all different options. So that might be a really fun place to try.
You are one of the recipients of our Rosebud grant. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem. How do you plan to use the money?
So we had a really cool idea. I have a child life team of 12 and we were super excited to do something that was art related, but we wanted to do something that would be able to be like a memory that stays at Rush for as long as possible. We haven't decided on an official plan yet, but we're going to use the grant to buy money. We are not going to buy money. We're going to buy some art supplies and we're going to make something that the kids, the families, the staff, everybody can contribute to. It might be like a giant tree that everybody puts handprints or fingerprints on, something like that idea that would stay at Rush even after all of us are gone. And it would always be the Coming Up Rosie's grant.
So creative. Can we see it?
Oh, absolutely. We should have a big unveiling. Like we'll invite you guys and we could do like a big ceremony.
That'd be so cool. Thank you. Yeah. So, unfortunately, it is time to wrap up our 6th episode of
Smile Files.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And
Thank you, Miss
thank you
Shira.
so much, Mishira, too.
Thank
And
you.
also,
We're having so much fun.
It was so fun to learn about your job.
yeah, and also, if any of you guys have any difference that you want to share or
Please
contact us.
We'd love to interview on Smile File. Bye, Miss Shira. Thank you.
Bye, Shira.
Bye. Thanks.